you can't stick your head in the sand. I mean, the things that we talk about on a regular basis are grim in a lot of ways. They're beautiful, but they're grim. But the repeat, the message that's on the repeat is that life is temporary. There is beauty here, but you got to look deeper than the skin, deeper than the surface. You're finding beauty only in the shadow. And you can't fully embrace a shadow. You can't feed a shadow when it's hungry, right? You can't enjoy the shadow world. We're saying go deeper to the subtle, and there's something actually very tangible. So I don't know if this is exactly what Carl Jung was saying in his quote. Maybe it was more about, you got to admit you're an alcoholic before you can change that you're an alcoholic. Maybe it was that. But
no, I don't think it's so much like necessarily such a external thing as being an alcoholic, but it's like internally that what you don't face in life, the inner fears, the attachments, they don't disappear. And his point is that they start running your life from behind. And we call it fate. Oh, this is the world. This is my nature. This just is how things are. But actually, that it's, you're not dealing with it. You're not stepping up and dealing with it. So like, what Vedanta is doing, let's say.
What's an example?
Well, let's take death. Here's one about death, right? We all know that we are very vulnerable. But we push it to the back and we don't process it. And then just like you're saying, when you see someone facing death, it shakes you up. It can, your heart really drops and you feel this sense of fear, and maybe you begin to feel a sense of depression, that you go through. And when the world makes you deal with it and brings it right to the front, right to the forefront of your awareness, we try to walk away with it hidden. And there may be our own shortcomings that we try to push to the back, that we don't process, that we don't. So he's saying to be healthy psychologically, you have to face these things and process them. And in Bhakti, the idea is that it gives you these tools to process them. It's going to say, let's be honest, let's be real. We're all incredibly vulnerable. We're in these little bodies that are like just one little germ can put you through complete hell. What to speak of one little piercing, in your body, or, any circumstance. We're driving around in these vehicles and, just one little, misstep and suddenly a peaceful world turns into a world of suffering. And we try to push that to the back. Now Vedanta is telling us that's a fact. And that's the world that you're living in. But at the same time, that's the external part of you that's vulnerable. The internal part of you is invulnerable. The internal part, you are eternal. There's no car crash or no piercing or no germ that can touch you. And beyond that, if you actually experienced your own nature, you would realize that I'm blissful underneath all this, despite my material vulnerability. And so if you can imbibe that and hear it regularly, and through hearing it regularly, really internalize it, then you have the tools to open up that chest of everything that you're hiding in your subconscious and confront it all and get it all out and be free and be healthy, So I agree with you. It's the opposite of spiritual bypassing. It's really taking on life.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Mumbai, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kaustubha, who's with us live from Māyāpur. Welcome to the show. It's Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. It's episode 1728. That's 16 rounds of shows.
Oh, this is it. Yeah.
right? If you were to count every Maha Mantra,
108.
there's 108, right? And if you're chanting 16 rounds, it comes out to 1728. For those who use the little clicker, know that magical number.
All right.
And yeah, we wound up everything. Beautiful people,
Hold it.
good
If
morning.
you're
I'm gonna say
using the
that first.
clicker, you don't go to 108 and stop. You just keep going till you get
You
to
just keep powering
1728.
through. Now I'm on 216. Now I'm on
I had no
324.
idea.
You see?
You just keep going till you get to 17.
I'm not a clicker fan personally, but I went through
I've
my
never
clicker
done
phase.
it ever in my
I
life.
went through my clicker phase.
You did, okay. But the
Yeah.
clickers, they have that. They go that high.
1728, yeah. They're used by like I don't know. I guess they're used by everybody, but devotees have
referees.
taken them and usurped them
Yeah.
for their religious rituals. Anyway, we finally, since December 31st, I'm off duty.
Look at you.
You and I and Prana have been going nonstop with hosting people and different trainings, events, kirtans, and a little pilgrimage in Māyāpur, which was really special.
It really was.
It was really special. And now we're off. We're off duty. And of course, on that last day, everybody's remarkably very strong and healthy. But that last day, Pranapriya crashed. And she had one day in bed, just not, just like not feeling well, just under the weather.
Right.
So we decided to use points on my credit card to get a nice hotel. And we're staying here in Mumbai. Before we head back to we're staying in a jungle bungalow at the Govardhan Eco Village in the middle of the jungle. They have this one random little house in the
jungle.
It's in that jungle area.
Is there a jungle there?
Yeah,
I thought it was just like more like
there's
open
nothing
fields.
around it.
I thought it was like flower gardens and all that. It's the place right by the. It's right by the.
Where Maharaj stays, but it's like there's like no one goes there.
Okay.
So it's all sort of grown over. There's almost like no roadway to get there, but it's filled with like, random fruit trees and flower trees. It's a nice jungle, but it's sort of like, it's a little rustic. Okay. But we're excited. I'm going to work on some new writings. I'm working on some new, on my website. Katie's going to come with us too. And I'm excited about everything. And we had, maybe we should talk a little bit about Māyāpur. Because Māyāpur this year was...
There, right? There was one event in particular that I think for you was very moving.
Well, I will say...
The whole thing was great.
The whole thing was very moving. Everything we planned just turned out to be magical, from the, riding in the boat in the Ganga to... I got this... I felt like I got to publicly chant more, which I always chant with my group, but I was asked to chant in the temple. I was to chant Māyāpur mellows. I was super honored because I don't consider myself a A-rate chanter, but it was really, really fun. And I really liked doing kirtan.
Well, we did a kirtan. You led a kirtan on Nityananda's appearance day in the temple in the evening, kind of the primetime slot.
Oh, and that day, that was fun, wasn't it?
That was, like, there's certain kirtans, and sometimes they happen in settings like that, where it's like, I don't know how many people were in the room, but it was probably 800 or something. I don't know. Something like that, right? What do you think?
Yeah. There's a little Instagram clip on my Instagram.
And, it got to the point where, like, it felt like the earth was about to crack. It's like, it was like huge, and it went, it was a great kirtan run. It was two, because you finished one, and then they asked you to keep going.
I know.
But at one point, it was like probably about 150 ladies, like all in the front, going back and forth, back.
It was so beautiful, wasn't it? Watching them dance.
That was really sweet. And then you turned it up a notch, and things started to get a little bit more wild. And then you turned it up another notch, and it felt like everything's shaking. And then turned it up one last notch, and it felt like the world was going to crack open. But it was powerful, really, really great. Chanting.
I had a picture
from all over, chanting, dancing. It was great.
I had a picture of like a kirtan. It was just sort of like something like that, ladies dancing, maybe some flowers or something like that. It was just a simple picture out of our life that you might see every day. And a lot of people that follow me are not devotees on social media. And someone just wrote me and they said, "This is such a beautiful photo." I was thinking to myself,
Such a beautiful
yeah.
what?
Say it again. Man, I can't
Such
hear
a
you.
beautiful what?
Such a beautiful photo.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was thinking, yeah, this culture is beautiful. Our lives are beautiful. We train ourselves to become more beautiful internally as well. We try to dress beautifully to please God. We arrange beautiful festivals. We hang out. The people in our lives, as we imbibe this culture, become more beautiful. We start to raise the bar of the quality of everything that we want in our life, the people, the food, the places. Going to Māyāpur is beautiful. It was just a beautiful situation, and this is what I want to lead to. So we did all these like official events where we, made a plan, a calendar of what we're going to do while we're there, and then we had this very interesting experience. I'm not going to mention who it is, but it was a friend of mine's mother. So me and Jiva and Pranapriya and Yogi Charu and his wife, we're all ready to walk to lunch. And, we've been eating one meal a day. And
hold
so
it. Let
by
me
the
get this
time
straight. It was you two.
Pranapriya, Jiva,
Jiva was there too.
Jiva was there too.
Yogi Charu and Yvonne. Yeah.
Yvonne and Yogi Charu. And we were all walking to have lunch. And because we're eating one meal a day, we become like super hangry. And the lunch kept on getting pushed back. It was like, oh, it's going to be at 1 today. Actually, it's going to be at 1:15. 1:30 today. I was like, okay, it's going to be at 1:30, right? We're all getting a little anxious. And Jiva's also doing this, like one meal a day, no sugar. So she's extra fiery. And so then it's like, no, it's 1:45. I was like, you know what? I'm just going at 1:30. I'm just going to be the first one there. And so we all left a little early and we're ready. And then on our way there, we saw a little miniature ambulance, like a real Indian type ambulance, sort of drives slowly past us.
Sort of meandering through there.
Not like,
not in a rush or anything.
and we're going, we just didn't even notice it really. And then an older Prabhupada disciple sticks his head out the window and goes, "Go quickly. Someone's leaving their body."
Go.
We were the only ones down there in the courtyard. And so we just turned and ran. Like we were EMTs or something. Even
You
though we
needed
know
to have
nothing
that
about
belt. This is when you need to be wearing your belt, Raghunath.
This is where I need my belt. But sure enough, we saw a lovely Prabhupada disciple getting ready to leave her body.
Well, it's interesting because the husband, it was like he stood there and opened the door for us, like, and he's like, come quick, like as if he had called us over, as if he was expecting us. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you knew him previously, but
someone to come, and there you were. And
yeah.
Well, it was almost like the
interesting.
ambulance was sort of a little bit of like sort of like the Three Stooges. They were just like, they didn't know what they were doing. I felt like they didn't know what they were doing. And we didn't know anything medical, but we knew, Charu just grabs the mridanga, hands me the mridanga, and Jiva grabs the kartals, and just started, Hare Krishna. I was just like thinking, yeah, I guess this is how life ends. Like, you're around in a room with the people you know a little bit, perhaps, but you don't really even know them that well. I mean, this lady's a mother, had lots of children, but she sort of came to India to leave her body with her husband, and it was
their family photos are on the
family
wall.
photos around.
No, they're all young and healthy looking.
I'm the person singing to her. First of all, I was incredibly honored because I felt like whenever I see a person going through a transition or a tragedy or leaving their body, I think not just that they're leaving on this is sad, but this is like I'm leaving. Like this, don't you get it, Raghunath? You're not that far in age from her. This is you, man. This is your future. And there's this very sobering reality of finally digesting every piece of this philosophy we talk about for the last, you and me, 37 years, We're finally getting to digest it. Get it? This is it. This is the end game. Transition. Leave your body. And Krishna just sent devotees to chant to her. It was actually very beautiful. And then we were chanting, and then I found myself just like crying, and it was weird because it was definitely mixed with crying like of loss, but it was also this weird, I can't describe it because it was like a plethora of emotions that I've almost never tasted before. I've never tasted these types of emotions. It was like all these emotions blended together. There was loss. There was great joy that, wow, we get to sing to you. And that it must be so good that people are singing to you while you know what I mean?
There's like a gruesomeness too of seeing like such severe sickness and like near death, like face to face. Also, you know, like it's a little gruesome and like
Yeah.
it's stuff
scary.
that normally gets gets tucked away. Where it's like we don't want to think of ourselves like that, of our loved ones like that. Like,
And there's
Oh,
very
you know
beautiful
what?
of her and her family on the wall. Also, that is sort of that you're thinking, oh yeah, this is them healthy with the children, and because I have pictures of me with my children healthy, and then that whole thing of this is your future, sir. You know, this is your future. This is not her. This is you. This is everyone here.
As we are now, or as you are now, I used to be.
Yes.
As I am now, you will soon be.
You will soon be. And so there was a weird joy. I can't explain it, but a weird joy, and almost like I felt honored to be there. Like Krishna had me come, and for my purification. And she didn't end up leaving her body, and I've never found out what happened.
Oh, she didn't.
She did not. She did not.
Oh,
As far as I know,
okay.
she did not leave that day. But the husband was saying, "Come now." She's leaving her body now. So she was. If she wasn't leaving her body, it seemed like it was very close to that.
Okay.
And then they put her. Finally, we had to carry her with the ambulance guys because it was a really tricky stairwell to get the stretcher down. But it was such a damn eye opener, and we were late for lunch. And
I'm not sure how this
immediately. Hunger went away.
Yeah.
And then the father had to gather his things. And I realized there's another part of death or transitioning or whatever is the caretaker. And I felt like this beautiful soul, he's been caring for this partner for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, in Māyāpur,
Yeah.
Americans. And and then I felt like he just had to talk.
Yeah.
It felt like the best thing we could do is just listen to this person who wants to share, because he must be exhausted as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, it was a very...
It was intense.
The whole thing was intense and beautiful and horrible and real.
But,
Doesn't get
when you
more
share
real.
that, like to even have one person in your life that's dedicated enough that they're going to stay with you for years if need be and take care of you. The value of that, like we live these lives not maybe fully appreciating who's there all the time.
Yeah.
But then when my wife has been taking care of her mother for 2 years now, just taking care, and that's, when the circumstance of your loved one, you basically just mold your life around that. I think we're kind of brought up thinking, oh man, I can't do that. Who wants to do that? It's just like it could be my whole life.
Bummer. It's my whole 5 years of my life.
Yeah. But when you love someone, you do it.
Yeah.
And that's, that kind of selflessness, what to speak of within this context where you're caring for a devotee in a holy place, so that they can have this ideal departure. It's really special.
So and somehow when you add bhakti to anything, even the most tragic thing, like leaving your body, like that was a wonderful memory I'm always going to have. That wasn't, material life is sad. It's a sad sucker's bet that we can't win unless you embrace your spiritual life. When we embrace our spiritual life, it's only a win. Otherwise, we're just falling in love with things that are just going to be stripped out of our hands. We're like, we want to love. It's innate to love people, places, things. And I'm going to lose them all. I mean, how can we, knowing this, go on through life? Right?
Raghunath, hang in there.
Right? Real materialism means totally sticking your head in the sand. Totally
Yeah, it
sticking
does.
your head in the sand. Because if we were really honest, we couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So
Well,
we have to create fantasies and illusions and romances,
Yes.
right?
Our
Just so we can work in this world and add some meaning to a meaningless existence. But we don't agree with that, by the way. We didn't sign that contract. We say
sound a
there
little bit
is
like
a
Woody Allen over here.
what is
You sound like Woody Allen over here.
Well, we're not signing that contract. We've signed the contract with Spirit that there is a higher purpose. We're here to grow.
That's right.
We're here to evolve, and we believe in the extraordinary because the whole world is quite extraordinary.
Well, Mara was, or Pranapriya was just speaking about how like we kind of push this stuff aside. We push it to the back of our awareness. We ignore it. This will tie into our nugget today, Raghunath. I think this will be. I think there's a natural tie-in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we dive into the nugget?
Well, why don't we
anything
dive
else
into
you wanna
announcements? Announcements.
Any announcements? Anything else you want to say about our little trip to Mayapur?
Well, I think
Those kirtans were out of this world.
great kirtans.
Yeah, we had
Fun
some really great
kirtans.
kirtans. Were you gonna say something, Kaustubha?
No, I mean great kirtans, great dancing, and
How about the artist, Rasikananda, the artist?
yeah. But we talked about that in the previous show. Raghunath.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
What didn't we talk about?
we covered it.
Yeah. All right.
But
and-
yeah. Announcements first.
Announcements. Our show will be at the same time Wednesday and Thursday this week, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Little consistency here.
Yeah, for once. And we have Bhakti Recovery Group meetings happening in all time zones online. Go to bhaktirecoverygroup.com and go to the online meeting list for more information.
Oh, there was that prasadam distribution at the Madan Gopal temple.
Oh,
That was a great day.
that was a great day.
Yeah, really nice.
That deity is something else.
Deity of Krishna that was worshipped by Sri Chaitanya's mother and grandfather in their home, and he's the most beautiful, charming, welcoming sweetheart of a form. And we had nice kirtan and katha there, nice talks, and then we went. It's kind of sitting there in an open field in the village. And then we had kirtan while we served out khichdi, right? Three big, huge pots of khichdi but they made enough for like 1,000 of those bowls.
I know. They made a lot of
It
khichdi.
was a lot.
Yeah. And
I was like, how are we going to, there's not that many people here. How are we going to distribute all
come
this
out of the
khichdi?
woodwork.
And and they come with big pots, big bowls, all sorts of containers to fill up.
what a joy it was to distribute the prasad and distribute the holy name at the same, sing and dance and distribute.
Sweet.
It was very sweet. All right. Okay. Nugget time.
Today's nugget comes from Carl Jung.
Carl Jung.
He writes, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate.
Until you make the unconscious
Just
conscious.
Conscious.
It will direct
It is.
your life.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
That's what I'm telling you. There's a tie-in here,
It's like a
right?
Krishna miracle.
Something like death. You push it to the back. You don't confront it. You don't.
And this is what material existence is. And it's interesting and it's ironic because materialists always claim that spiritual people, they have in their head in the sand. They believe in some God when they're going to die. Actually, this is the real world. You hear that all the time.
Yes.
But actually, if you actually examined the quote real world, you would lose so much faith in materialism, in the thing that's like, go for material things and you'll be happy or you'll be joyful. No way. You look a little deeper. You puncture that, skin a little bit, go a little deeper. You'll end up in an existential rabbit hole that there's nothing but, a pond of misery sludge.
Misery sludge. We are misery sludge from Hoboken.
Misery sludge from the Lower East Side. No, it's misery quicksand. You can't get out of it. It's all worthless. It's all worth nothing. We create romances and fantasies and try to add meaning where there is actually no meaning in life. No. That is the unconscious life. And so we're saying, no, you got to examine your life. You got to look a little bit deeper on your life. There's a spiritual life, and that's a reality. And it's not all roses. Matter of fact, all the beauty, all the love, all the joy has its place, but it's not the final resting place of our devotion and our love. There's a spiritual realm. It's explained to us very deliberately and articulately by the masters. They leave trails of breadcrumbs, and they explain everything to us in such like colorful, beautiful terms. That's why I'm so fond of this culture. That's why, objectively, this culture has so much more to offer in terms of literature, in terms of the supporting culture that strengthens the weight of the literature, and you can't stick your head in the sand. I mean, the things that we talk about on a regular basis are grim in a lot of ways. They're beautiful, but they're grim. But the repeat, the message that's on the repeat is that life is temporary. There is beauty here, but you got to look deeper than the skin, deeper than the surface. You're finding beauty only in the shadow. And you can't fully embrace a shadow. You can't feed a shadow when it's hungry, right? You can't enjoy the shadow world. We're saying go deeper to the subtle, and there's something actually very tangible. So I don't know if this is exactly what Carl Jung was saying in his quote. Maybe it was more about, you got to admit you're an alcoholic before you can change that you're an alcoholic. Maybe it was that. But
No, I don't think it's so much like necessarily such a external thing as being an alcoholic, but it's like internally that what you don't face in life, the inner fears, the attachments, they don't disappear. And his point is that they start running your life from behind. And we call it fate. Oh, this is the world, this is my nature, this just is how things are. But actually that it's, you're not dealing with it. You're not stepping up and dealing with it. So like what Vedanta is doing, let's say.
What's an example?
Well, let's take death. Here's one about death, right? We all know that we are very vulnerable. But we push it to the back and we don't process it. And then just like you're saying, when you see someone facing death, it shakes you up. It can, your heart really drops and you feel this sense of fear, and maybe you begin to feel a sense of depression, that you go through. And when the world makes you deal with it and brings it right to the forefront of your awareness, we try to walk away with it hidden. And there may be, our own shortcomings that we try to push to the back, that we don't process, that we don't. So he's saying to be healthy psychologically, you have to face these things and process them. And in Bhakti, the idea is that it gives you these tools to process them. It's going to say, let's be honest, let's be real. We're all incredibly vulnerable. We're in these little bodies that are like just one little germ can put you through complete hell. What to speak of one little piercing, in your body, or, any circumstance. We're driving around in these vehicles and, just one little, misstep and suddenly a peaceful world turns into a world of suffering. And we try to push that to the back. Now Vedanta is telling us that's a fact. And that's the world that you're living in. But at the same time, that's the external part of you that's vulnerable. The internal part of you is invulnerable. The internal part, you are eternal. There's no car crash or no piercing or no germ that can touch you. And beyond that, if you actually experienced your own nature, you would realize that I'm blissful underneath all this, despite my material vulnerability. And so if you can imbibe that and hear it regularly, and through hearing it regularly, really internalize it, then you have the tools to open up that chest of everything that you're hiding in your subconscious and confront it all. and get it all out and be free and be healthy, you know. So I agree with you. It's the opposite of spiritual bypassing. It's really taking on life. And I think that's, you know, like if we take a verse like, you know, Sri Chaitanya's Trinadapi Sunichena, you know, with that Vedanta background, you can say, let me be tolerant, let me be humble, let me offer respects to the soul in every body, you know, every single living being. And I don't need any validation myself. I've processed everything now, so I don't feel vulnerable. It's my own feeling of like this looming vulnerability that's making me think I need more respect, or I got a problem with this other person, or humble, I need to be the one that's up, you know, that's being shown special privilege, or, you know, or I can't tolerate this. But from that, with that Atma Jnana, with that knowledge of who we are, and then putting in the bhakti context, understanding all this, processing all of my fears, I can become free now, that my mind can become absorbed in what's real. And that's a spiritual reality that's incredibly beautiful. That now you've entered into the real spiritual life, but you've done it not through relocating or moving around your issues in life, or tucking them away, or trying to find some path around them. You've confronted them, processed them, transcended them, and entered into like a bhakti reality that's has you invulnerable. And both you and I have seen people that have done that through bhakti yoga, that have faced death or other great challenges with incredible grace, due to their processing all of their hidden fears and issues, you know.
Yeah, if you want the goal, it's that all that stuff has to surface. If you want to make the ghee, you got to get all the impurities to come to the top. And that's and the system is designed to do that. But you got to be honest and you got to be sincere.
Yep. We
That's
some
honest.
weeks back we had a nugget that said something like it's not uncommon that the very on the road that you're taking to escape a particular issue in your life, that's where you run into it again. In other words, it comes up like a whack-a-mole. We can't run away. We can't outsmart the universe. If we're meant to learn something, it's going to keep repeating until we decide I'm going to process this. And so therefore, if we want to be happy, the sooner we process these things, the better. So let's equip ourselves, you know, with this knowledge of the self, with this association of devotees, with this entire bhakti philosophy and culture, you know, whole worldview that really gives us a powerful way to process it all and become free, you know.
By the way, I have so much hope in where we're at right now in the Bhakti society. Just with our community's got so big, and it's a whole new thing happening, I feel like. And with Bhakti recovery going, which was a necessary part of the mosaic to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
I just see this getting bigger and broader and more genuine and more honest and more powerful and more transformatory.
I think in many ways, people are stepping up for initiation. That's one thing, you know, like they're ready to commit. They're ready.
Which means
I want to change my life.
About their life.
Yes. That's there. Another thing is, and I really love this, it came up just by our meetings with the Bhakti Yoga Rishikesh people, but the idea that anyone potentially can start a sage group on their own if they have some people that want to be part of it, and we'll provide them with all the resources. So coming out of this yoga teacher training that we did and this trip to Māyāpur, in both of those groups, we have people that are starting sage groups just from the people on those trips or those retreats. And that's going to keep people connected, you know? So this is something that we could do for all of them. Just say, hey, one of you or two of you start a sage group, and this way you all stay in touch with each other. It's perfect, you know? And I think we can start more reading groups, and when we get this academy up and running, which we're getting really close to now, people are going to have lots of good resources. Get Sage Care going. We're going to develop still more resources, and I think we're building a network now where people can really be supported, and that was kind of our aim, all along. So I feel like it's coming together.
Sometimes people who, I'll see an American in India and they'll be like, how is it going in America with the devotees? I'm always like, it's the best it's ever been. I think we, I think because we're active in it, and we see the people
Positive stuff.
getting getting into Krishna almost in that romance stage of being with Krishna for the first time. It's so exciting, and it's so fulfilling as a teacher to see so many people interested. It's almost like we got to get older devotees and get them involved in it too, because it is really
Definitely.
faith.
I mean,
building.
that's what the sage groups have been good at, is reaching out to older devotees and getting them involved in leading sage groups. It's been really good. Look, Narayani says she's reading with her old sage group now. So like you have an old sage group and you say, you know what, our group's still not together, but let's get together and read, once a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think you and I had to figure out how everything that we were given, we're going to give it to like the listeners to this podcast when they're not 20 years old and just jumping into an ashram. And I
Right.
feel like people are really stepping up to help now. And step by step, we're putting the things in place where people will really be able to hit that state. You hit that stage where your faith becomes really strong. And it's right at that point that you need support. You need shiksha, you need instructions, you need sangha, you need steady engagement, study and learning, education. You need the sangha of devotees and friendships and all of that. You need guru, you need all these things. And I think we're getting right to the point where we can really provide all of that for people. And we're going to see that it doesn't matter that you're 43 years old and new to this, and you got a family, you got a job. You can still make rapid advancement and feel like feel your bhakti practice being dynamic and transformative.
Yeah. Nice, Kaustubha. All right, what do you say
right.
we get into the Srimad Bhagavatam?
I'm down.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes at the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 17. Text 1. This is the new chapter. It's the history of Kaliya. So we just had Kaliya poisoning. He's a serpent, a multi-headed naga. And he was poisoning the Yamuna River. Krishna, kids were dropping dead. Birds were dropping from the sky. Everyone called out for Krishna. And all of a sudden, Krishna came out. He dove off this kadamba tree, swam in the water. He challenged the snake. He danced on the snake's head. Famous painting there, Krishna dancing on Kaliya's heads. And then the wives of the snakes prayed, please forgive my husband. By very nature, he's very envious. And then he had a change of heart, Kaliya himself. And he offered prayers to Krishna. And that's where we sort of left off. And now we're going to hear the backstory, because everybody has a backstory, Kaustubha.
Okay.
I think that's
Even
one, like,
snakes.
I think that's a big thing for me in Bhakti. I think a lot of times in the material world, my material mind was, it's easy to be judgmental, especially if people are doing stupid things, harsh things, rude things, cruel things. But the whole zoom out effect that Bhakti naturally pushes us towards is everybody going through something has went through something. And it's not
Everybody
giving
goes.
them It's not giving them a pass on if they're doing something bad, but it is helping you understand that people have a history, and when they're coming to the table in some type of craziness or recklessness or harmfulness, it helps us as spiritual practitioners be a little bit more understanding, and not just want to tackle everybody physically or verbally, and try to understand, be a little bit more empathetic to where they're coming from. And of course, seeing people as pure spirit souls. That's a very powerful way to behave in this world. Training ourselves to see everybody as a pure spirit soul, no matter what they're doing, no matter what they've done. And something about treating anybody, even a jerk, with a type of spiritual dignity, it touches their heart. They feel like, wow, this person is not either like loving me for my behavior or despising me for my behavior. They're just seeing something else. They're not condoning what I'm doing per se, and they're not condemning me, but they're sort of like seeing me as something greater than I can see myself for. It's a very, very like beautiful gift that Bhakti's given.
Let's see what Kalia the snake has been through.
Let's hear about Kalia's backstory. Text 1. Having thus heard how Lord Krishna chastised Kalia, the king inquired, and this is King Parikshit inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami, why did Kalia leave Ramanaka Island, the abode of the serpents? And why did Garuda become so antagonistic towards him alone? Sukadeva Goswami said, to avoid being eaten by Garuda, I think I told the story the other day. To avoid being eaten by Garuda, the serpents had previously made an arrangement with him whereby they would each make a monthly offering of tribute at the base of a tree. Thus, every month, on schedule, each serpent would duly make his offering to that powerful carrier of Vishnu, Garuda, as a purchase of protection. So here's the deal. Garuda was going to come and just randomly pick out snakes to eat and says, okay, listen, we can't live in this type of anxiety. We will sacrifice every time you come, we'll sacrifice one of our own for you. And when my number comes up, we'll sacrifice that. And we get it. You got to eat snakes. But we can't live in total anxiety. Today's going to be my day. At least when it's my day, I'll be prepared for it. I'll have my serpent friends coaching me through it, giving me therapy and company. I've got a trivia question for Pranapriya.
Uh-oh.
Maybe Kaustubha, you know this one. When else was such an interesting thing of making an offering or fear that whoever you're offering to will kill everybody? Can you name?
I know that one.
You have the answer?
I know one, at least one example.
Let's hear Kaustubha because I don't have anything good mind.
She's drawn blank. Yes.
In the Mahabharata, there was a Rakshasa that Bhima ultimately killed. Hidimba.
Yes. No,
Right.
His name was Baka. Different than Bakasura the crane.
Wasn't his wife Hidimbi? Am I mixing that up? Okay. Any case, okay. So
that was it.
Yeah, that was the
finally,
one.
Bhima went out to make the offering, but he started eating the offering.
There's a charming scene in Mahabharata where, because the idea was the whole village or town or whatever it was, they knew that once every so often, once a month or whatever like that, or I forget how often, but that one family would have, someone would have to be sacrificed, someone from a family.
Yeah.
And so there was a mother, a husband, a daughter, and then like the youngest one was a little boy.
Yeah.
And Kunti, this is when the Pandavas are all incognito, dressed as brahmanas, hiding, like living in the open, but disguised. And Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, is overhearing this conversation that this family is having with each other, where they're lamenting and crying that, the husband's saying, it will be me. I will go and, sacrifice my life. And the mother says, no, if you die, no one will be able to provide for the family. It must be me. No, we can't have it be you. And the girl's saying, it should be me. And then the little boy's like, I will go and I will fight like I think he says, I will fight him. And everybody, and then even in this moment of just, pure dread and everything, they all the whole family just had to laugh because the kid was being so cute and sweet. And so they're just such a sweet family. And then Kunti can't help but barge in and say, I have a son that's very powerful and he can help with this, And so then Bhima goes and takes care of him himself.
He goes and kills Baka, the demon.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, that was what Garuda was doing, and so they purchased protection, so to speak, by offering a snake a month.
But,
Although,
but just want to say, I'm looking at are we sure that they were like sacrificing a serpent, or were they making some other kind of offering?
No, I think it was a serpent.
I'm reading let's just read the commentary right here.
Okay.
Srila Sridhar Swami has given an alternate explanation of this verse. Upaharyai may also be translated as by those who are to be eaten, and Sarpa Janai as those human beings who are dominated by or who belong to the serpent race. According to this reading, a group of human beings had fallen under the control of the serpents, Raghunath, and were prone to being eaten by them. To avoid this, the human beings would make a monthly offering to the serpents, who in turn would offer a portion of that offering to Garuda so that he would not eat them. The particular translation given above is based on the commentary by Srila Sanatana Goswami and the translation by Srila Prabhupada in his Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In any case, all the acharyas agree that the serpents purchased protection from Garuda. It's a little hard to say. Yeah. Okay.
Who are these serpent-like?
Who are they?
They're not just snakes.
I went back.
Know what I mean?
We brought Ladini.
In the same way we say, like, we're just animals. Well, we're not just animals. We're animals that can build airplanes. So who are these serpents? Well, they're just serpents. No, they're not serpents. They're beings, serpentine beings. Right?
Yes. And yesterday, I took our friend Ladini Shakti back to see the artists, and we went right back into the studio because he hadn't gone there with us.
Yeah.
And there was a girl there who was like one of the painters. It's like they're huge paintings, so there's several people working on them at once. And this girl, her expertise is doing the scales on all the snakes. Oh. And and she was working on that Nagaraj that you had seen there. And Rasikananda, that's his name, Rasikananda, the main artist. He said, yes, this girl, she's expert at snakes. He said, look at her hands, and on her hands was all rings, and she had probably like 8 rings, and they were all snake rings. And so she had some special meditation on the snakes, and she was doing a really good job.
All right, text 4. Although all the other serpents were dutifully making offerings to Garuda, one serpent, the arrogant Kaliya, the son of Kadru, would eat all these offerings before Garuda could claim them.
Okay.
He just ate them. Yeah. Thus, Kaliya directly
pride.
defied the carrier of Lord Vishnu.
Okay.
A little bit of attitude. O king, the greatly powerful Garuda, who was very dear to the Supreme Lord, became angry when he heard of this. Desiring to kill Kaliya, he rushed towards the serpent with tremendous speed.
I would really love to see the speed of Garuda.
You can't. It's faster than your eyes can.
Okay.
As Garuda swiftly fell upon him, Kaliya, who had the weapon of poison, raised his numerous heads to counterattack. Showing his ferocious tongues and expanding his horrible eyes, Kaliya then bit Garuda with the weapons of his fangs. Mm-hmm. The angry son of Tarksha.
That's Kaliya, I believe.
Snake father. Oh, it's Garuda's father, sorry. The angry son of Tarksha moved with overwhelming speed in repelling Kaliya's attack. That terribly powerful carrier of Lord Madhusudana, Vishnu, struck the son of Kadru, Kaliya, with his left wing, which shone like gold.
Imagine that wing coming on.
Whack. I wonder if it was soft or was it just...
I think it hurt.
Beaten by Garuda's wing, Kaliya was extremely distraught, and thus he took shelter of a lake adjoining the river Yamuna. Garuda could not enter this lake. Indeed, he could not even approach it. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish. Fish being, after all, his normal food.
Okay.
Although forbidden by the sage Shobari, who was meditating
Shobari
there
Muni.
in the water. Garuda took courage and, feeling hungry, seized the fish. So he was forbidden to eat a fish, and he just took it, even though Shobari Muni said you can't. By the way, next time we go to Vrindavan, I'm going to take you to Shobari. Have I ever taken you to Shobari Muni's ashram? Yeah?
Mhm.
That is a great place. Have you been? Kaustubha?
Me? I probably have a long time ago, but I don't remember it so well.
You can just say no.
Well, I believe that I have. I could. Yes, I could. But I don't know if I'd be really honest if I did.
Well, it was something like, "Oh yeah, I've been there. I can't
No,
remember when." or
no, it
what
wasn't
looked
like that. I
I've
believe I probably have
can't
been
let
there.
you one up me on a place in Vrindavan. You've been.
See,
Is
Raghunath,
that
you're
what's going on
adding,
here?
you're adding meaning to it, Raghunath. You're adding meaning here where it's not even there.
Okay, I'll let you off the hook. You just can't remember. That's okay.
I don't believe I'm on the hook. At least it's only you're the only one with the hook.
I hooked you. Seeing how the unfortunate fish in the lake had become most unhappy at the death of their leader. All the other fish were unhappy. Shobari uttered the following curse under the impression that he was mercifully acting for the benefit of the lake's residents. So he's going to curse Garuda. Now, it's a problem.
Okay.
Garuda is very dear Lord Krishna. You're going to curse a pure devotee.
Don't
If
curse.
Garuda ever again, here's the curse. If Garuda ever again enters this lake and eats fish here, he will immediately lose his life. I am saying is the truth. This was the curse by Shobari.
I wonder if that had anything to do with
All the
Sobari's
serpents, only Kalia.
problems that he had later.
Yeah, that's what it says in the commentaries.
Does it?
He fell down because he offended. I'm sure it does.
Because
But
are
I'm
you
not
sure you're just saying
sure.
that, Raghunath?
I'm not
I mean, I'll let you off the
sure,
hook
but
if you want.
I'm Read the commentaries. I'm sure it does.
Okay.
That's why he fell down, because he offended a Vaishnava.
Because he
I
offended
thought that
Garuda.
was just common knowledge.
All right.
Of all the serpents, only Kalia came to know of this affair. So he knew, like if I hide
This
here,
is
he
the
can't
place I
get
can
me.
go.
This is a place I can go. And in fear of Garuda, he took up residence in the Yamuna Lake. Later, Lord Krishna drove him out. So that's
Now,
what he
this
did.
is another example of like relocating rather than processing. You know, like there was a certain reality. He didn't want to deal with it. He got himself in trouble. He went and hid in a lake. You know?
Carl
right?
Jung and the Kalia pastime.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas he should have like processed the whole thing. You know, so we do similar things in our mind. Okay.
Yeah. Krishna rose up out of the lake wearing divine. Wait a second. All the serpents. Okay. Resuming the description of Krishna's chastisement of Kalia, Sukadeva Goswami continued. Krishna rose up out of the lake wearing divine garlands, fragrances, and garments, covered with many fine jewels, and decorated with gold. And when the cowherds saw him, they all stood up immediately, just like an unconscious person's senses coming back to life.
This was the most wondrous sight that they're collapsing and fainting because Krishna's being bitten by the snake and caught in its coils. And now they're coming out of their stupor, and there's beautiful Krishna coming out of the lake, just looking super beautiful, like incredibly beautiful scene. And Kalia's been like knocked out.
Having regained their vital functions, Yashoda, Rohini, Nanda, and all the other cowherd women and men went up to Krishna. O descendant of Kuru, even the dried up trees came back to life. Very interesting, Mr. K, that because Krishna appears very vulnerable, he's a little boy, he's got delicate limbs, he's very cute. There's that charm that we have for him. It's interesting that God takes this form. Because of that form, he's also vulnerable to the attack of monsters. And then when these monsters
Yes,
go
vulnerable
after
to attack of
him,
monsters.
when monsters go after, it's almost like watching an unfair fight.
Yes,
And
if he
fully
showed his
gets beaten
Vishnu
up.
form, it would be like no monster can touch him.
Right. Like, okay, good luck fighting Vishnu.
Yeah.
But when you see Krishna, it's just like, oh my God, he's just a little kid, leave him alone. And you cheer for him more. And what this it just brings out that emotion in your heart even more, even louder.
Oh, I would love to see that vision. Someone should paint that painting. Krishna coming out of the water.
You should paint it.
I don't know if I have the ability to do it justice.
You know, you can have the ability. You just got to want it. Krishna can do the work.
I do want it, Raghunath. I do.
That's what Shamarani said. She told me, she's like, I was like, how do you learn how to paint? Because if you see her old paintings, they're very primitive. Then she painted that famous Lord Nrsimhadev painting. She said, Prabhupada held my hand, just said, paint like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Maybe
that
you
was
need
his
to hold my
instruction on how to
hand.
paint.
You need to hold my hand, Raghunath.
I'll hold your hand.
Yeah.
I will give you my Shakti pot. But then again, I'm no painter either, my friend.
All right.
Right, we ready to get into
That's
takeaways?
it.
I think
Oh,
that's our
That's
time.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, it went quick today.
Went quick today.
It did.
All right. All right.
See you
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
We'll
We're
pick
going to
up.
be back at the GEV tomorrow, sir.
Yeah. In your jungle. Make
Internet
sure you
jungle.
ahead of time try out the internet and everything. So,
Well, we got this little
I
portable
know.
internet box.
But
and
test it
let's
out
see if we
first.
can use it all over the world now.
okay.
It's going
What
to
you
be
got? Pranapriya.
Pranapriya. Panicking here.
No, I'm not. I was just letting people know that our show is back at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. All right, you ready for my takeaways, Prabhu?
Good.
The material world is a sucker's bet.
Sucker's bet.
Sucker's bet.
Sign the contract with spirit, and life is extraordinary.
Oh, yeah. Sign it. Sign right here on the dotted line. Kaustubha.
Okay.
Go deeper and find the subtle in the solid.
The subtle and the
Subtle.
solid.
The subtle is the solid.
Subtle.
The subtle is
subtle.
the solid.
Yeah. Yes.
I like that.
The fears you won't face will run your life.
And from
We'll
the
call it
background.
fate. We'll call it fate.
Confront, process, and transcend.
Confront,
Process and
transcend.
transcend.
I like that. Was that
Yeah.
a Kaustubha? It definitely wasn't me.
It was a Kaustubha. It's a good one.
Did
though.
I say-
Very
Yeah.
smart, Kaustubha. He's
Well,
very
someone
wise.
just took that and took it out of what I said and put it together like that. Which, yeah, they deserve the credit.
If you want the ghee, you've got to skim away the impurities.
Skim it away.
Apply the heat. Skim away the impurities. My friend.
Apply the heat.
Apply the heat. Tapasya.
Baba!
Baba.
We can't out.
Me and Kaustubha had this. There was an old man in Mayapur.
Is he the
old
one who used to
days.
say, "Are you a cheetah or a pre?"
That was-
Well,
Okay.
he also had something like that too, but there's others that would yell.
Other just like random old like 80-something-year-old Bengali men who
Yeah.
just go just like just like scream at you.
You're having a normal conversation and they
Ah! And they're like just rough and tumble.
hard.
80-year-old
I
brahmachari.
remember once I was in Loy Bazaar and I wanted to get, because we used to be in the cold winter, and they used to sell like regular kind of like ski hats, and then they also had the monkey hat, which was like a regular ski hat, but then you could pull down the inside and you get it would cover like your neck, and there'd be like a hole for your face. They call those the monkey hat.
There's like the Prabhupada hat.
Oh yeah.
No, not like the Prabhupada hat. These are like a
Oh, the
regular
winter
ski hat.
Oh,
But
yeah,
then you
yeah.
pulled down the inner lining, and now it
Yeah,
covers.
it covers everything except your face.
Yeah, so they call it the monkey one. And I went to, I was talking to some man in Loy Bazaar, and I was like, "Do you have the monkey one?" He's like, "Monkey!" I was like,
I thought that was Dadu that said that. I thought that was Mayapur Dadu that said that.
All right.
This time that Mayapur Dadu just whacked somebody with a cane. A monk. Ah!
There's a Vrindavan Dadu, and then there's the Mayapur Dadu.
Yeah, Mayapur Dadu was.
No, Vrindavan
Whereas,
Dadu was a
like,
character.
Vrindavan
If only
Dadu was very sophisticated and refined.
if we
Mayapur
could only
Dadu-
imagine if we could interview Vrindavan Dadu for the podcast.
Wow.
That would have been
Either one
awesome.
of them would be like.
Well, the
Very
Māyāpur
awesome.
Dadu would have been a wild interview. You don't know where it would
He
have
was,
gone.
like he was like a wild man.
But the Vrindavan Dadu, he took a vow. I'll never wear shoes in the Dham. He's always walking
Wow.
around barefoot. And he was the mailman. He would deliver all the mail, but he did it with great care. Remember that, Raghu?
Sophisticated.
He was a gentleman. Yeah.
Whereas Māyāpur Dadu had like thick leather feet. Also,
He was a
never
brahmachari.
He never wore shoes. He was
Yeah.
straggly, walked with a stick,
A
always
little bit more
screaming at you.
crazed in his spiritual
Yeah, crazy
awareness. Great souls. Great souls.
All right. Back to our takeaways. We can't outsmart the universe. We've got to learn the lesson to move forward.
Yeah,
That's right. You can't outsmart it. Don't even try.
Yeah.
Did it work for Clea? No.
Everyone has a backstory.
Yep.
Train yourself to see everyone as a pure spirit soul. And
And what up?
who are these sentient beings?
Yeah. What are they? Who are they?
Snake people.
They're not serpents.
Now,
Serpentine beings are not snakes.
Pranapriji, there's apparently our website is not saying the right thing. Do we have Nityananda Chandra here?
Yeah, that's not. I believe we do. Let's see. Oh, maybe that's already.
Right. Business meeting here. Let me say hello to everybody.
Yeah, look at all these people that are here.
Thanks for
Catherine-
joining, everybody.